Liberate IT is an Oracle NetSuite solution provider that has been servicing Australian and New Zealand companies since 2011.
Welcome to the latest of our webinar series. Today we're going through case management, first day of June 2022. Looking forward to it. First day of winter, and I'm really feeling it here. Okay, as always, I am your host, Andrew Liniger, the Relationship Manager for Liberate IT. Let me know if you have any needs or things to do with NetSuite, maybe anything outside of NetSuite. We've got lots of networks that might be able to help, so don't hesitate to get in touch. Today, we're going to go through a couple of updates from the team. We are also going to give you a few updates of what's going on at the world of NetSuite. I've got the lovely Michelle here with me. She's going to present all things case management. And then at the end, I'll do a quick wrap up. As always, we are recording today's session, and please do use the Q&A function as opposed to the chat function if you've got any questions as you go. Today, I really would encourage you to log those questions as we're going. They're great for me to review, and what we'll do today is we'll hold all those to the end, and then I'll read those out to Michelle and we'll get cracking. But don't leave them to the end, put them in there and we'll make sure that we get those answered for you. Okay, some team updates. The team at Liberate here are obviously growing, and we've got Angela Van. I can never get that right. She's joined the team as a new consultant based in New Zealand. She's got 18 years of consulting experience, so welcome aboard, Angela. Sarah Fox has recently joined the team as a new consultant also, and she's also based in New Zealand. And Sarah Cronje, if I've got that right, she's joined our development team. We've got a bit of a development hub here in Sydney with me. So she's joined that team also. And it's great. So after all things NetSuite improvements and changes, and also enhancements, so one-stop shop, so to speak. In terms of Liberate IT, over in the top right-hand corner of today's slide, unless it's reversed and it's over to the left, we have got the badge of expertise in ERP, which looks like nothing very special, but that's something that we've worked particularly hard on starting the end of last year. First partner in ANZ to get that badge. The whole star system that NetSuite have used previously is going away and replaced with these badges. And so we're also one of the first of the 10 partners worldwide to get that competency badge. So that's not just us saying, hey, can we please have it? We've got to demonstrate that we've got a depth of team plus a depth of experience in that team and certifications across the board to get that. So make sure that NetSuite trust us to look after you at the end of the day. In terms of NetSuite, Suite World returns this year. It's in Las Vegas in September 27 to 30. If you're thinking of attending, please do let me know. We can make sure that you get looked after while you're there. If you've got a company-wide LCS pass, you've obviously got access to all the NetSuite own webinars. So, you know, there's saved searches and KPIs coming up on the 17th of this month. Suite Analytics Workbook. Now, it's nothing compared to Michelle's one that she did recently for us. So do check that out if you haven't already. But they've got some coming up this month and next, and also so do check that out. During the NetSuite release, the 2022.1 release, there was a lot of talk about Cache 360 and Project 360 by NetSuite themselves. I think I'm pleased to let you know that they have been released by NetSuite. They're out there at the moment. They've been released to us at the same time as to the general population. So we've gone through and looked at some of those. So Cache 360 looks great. We just don't know how to reconcile those numbers yet. So bear with us as the consulting team work through that and make sure that the numbers that you're being presented with are right. And also Project 360 is also released there as well. Few prerequisites. Do check out Suite Answers for some of the details around that. Do reach out to us as we start to get familiar with those as well. But that's all things Liberate and NetSuite. Now I'm really pleased to introduce to you again Michelle Cronje. She's currently our support desk team leader, an ERP consultant. So Michelle, hello.
I'm on mute.
You were.
Best phrase, right?
That's right. I wouldn't dare tell you. It could be a very quiet webinar today otherwise. You're going to go through all things case management. That's fantastic.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to share my screen. Awesome. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining the Back to Basics support management or case management session. So and today we're going to set up a basic support channel using case management and NetSuite. We will be looking at covering the following in this webinar. So we're going to see how we're going to be creating those case types, origins, statuses, and priorities. We're going to have a look at how you can actually offer support for specific items, and then we will create a case rule and assign them to territories so that we might automatically assign cases to support reps using the rules that we've set up. We will also be looking at how you can create an online case capture form, and we will also have a look at how you can set up email case capture to capture emails. Note that you can also give customers access into your customer center, and then they can create cases that way, but we're not going to cover that in today's session. But if you do need more information, feel free to reach out to us and we can be able to help you. So we're going to use the following use case scenario for our support setup. So Gill Group is a company that sells electronic devices, and they would like to offer support for all items belonging to the general electronics group. At the moment, all support type cases are managed by emails and phone calls. They have like a big spreadsheet, and this causes cases to be overlooked or phone calls, like things to be skipped off. So they would like to use or utilize NetSuite to capture and track these cases. So they would also like to give their clients the added benefit of logging a case using an online form. So Gill Group's customer support issues can be grouped using the following case types. So ask a question. This will be used if a customer has a how-to question on any of their electronic items. Report a problem. This will be used if a customer has experienced a problem with one of the items. Relay a concern. This will be used if a customer has a concern regarding one of the items. And they also want to add log a complaint and give a compliment. So if they have a complaint regarding poor customer services, they would like their customers to actually be able to log a complaint using their case management system and then give compliments as well. So if they really enjoyed the service, they would like to give the customers the ability to actually give a compliment using an online case system. The following case priorities will be set up. So they will have listed statuses set up to enable users to track where they are at with each case. Gill Group also wants priorities set up to map their service level agreements set up with their customer state, with their customers. Urgent, needing resolution today. High, needs resolution in 3 days. Medium, needs resolution within the week. And low, needs resolution within the month. They would also like cases to be assigned using the following rules. Urgent cases need to go to their support manager, which is Dave Dobbin. If a complaint or a compliment is logged, they would like that to go to Dave as well. Specific items, aka the Genius wireless pen mouse. So all cases need to be assigned to the subject matter expert, which is Jonah Rostovic. And then also high and low priority cases need to be split between Fred Clark, Jermaine Clement, and Rusty Crow. So let's have a look at how we will do this in NetSuite. So I'm just going to navigate through to NetSuite. First, let's have a look at where you'd enable the feature. So enable NetSuite to actually have case management. We're going to navigate through to setup. company, enable features. Then under the CRM tab, we're going to make sure that the customer relationship management is switched on, because we do want to use context, events, and tasks as well. And then make sure customer support and services is checked over here. If you scroll down, make sure, because we are going to do email case capture, that email case capture is also checked. Do note that we are just going through basic support setup today, but you can set up things like automated case escalation, issue management, knowledge base, help desk. And if you do need more information regarding that, you can go to help. And under user guides, you can just go Control F, and then let's go support. You can just download the support management guide, or you can just look at the help articles over here, and that will actually take you through the full setup. Great. Once you've saved your features, we need to set up case types. So you're going to go through to setup, support, and then we're going to go through to case types. So the following would already have been set up for you: ask a question, report a problem, or relay a concern. And then there won't be any description in there, but you can add your own descriptions in there if you want. Then I want to add the 2 additional ones, which is log complaint. So I can do that by clicking on new. And then I can add the description in the description box here. Next, I want to add give a compliment. And I want to insert it before log a complaint. So I don't want log a complaint first. So I'm going to click save on that. And as you can see, give a compliment, even though I've created it after log complaint, it actually sits above log a complaint. Next, we need to set up our case origins. So for Guild Group, they want to log or have the following case origins: online, email, phone, and walk-in. So walk-in would be for customers that actually walk into the shop and have like a question about an item, and the person can't answer the question immediately. They can actually create a case, and a support rep can reach out to that person. So let's go through to setup, support, case origin types. So the following would automatically be set up. You can obviously set up your own descriptions by editing each one of these. And I'm just going to go and click new and add walk. Will be used. Customer walks into the shop with a case. And I'm going to click save. And you can use that insert before. So if I want walk-in to be at the top, I can easily do that. So for instance, phone, that is the one that we mostly get. I can just go, it needs to be in front of online. And as you can see, phone is the first selection then. Now let's have a look at how we can actually set up those case priorities: urgent, high, medium, and low. I'm going to navigate through to setup, support, and then I'm going to look at case priorities. High, medium, and low is set up, and I've added my description. So needs resolution in 3 days, within the week, and within the month. I'm going to click on new. I'm going to call it urgent. And needs resolution today. And I want that right at the top. Let's set up the case statuses. So these will be used so that the support rep can actually track where they are at each case. Also, the support manager can go and review the case and actually see, great, the support rep is either waiting for the supplier's response or they're actively investigating, and they can actually navigate and see what's happening. Obviously, if it's pending further investigation and it's been open for 30 days, the support manager can then start questioning why it's been open under a pending further investigation status. So let's navigate through to setup, support, and case statuses. So I've set up the following ones. So support review, pending further investigation, awaiting supplier response, actively investigating. I want to add the additional one, which is on hold. So I'm going to click on new. And I'm going to call it on hold, more info required. Is used when a customer needs to respond with more information. And I'm going to say that I want to add it above escalation or escalated. And then next, I want to add it as a hold, and I don't want show awaiting support's reply, so that I can do the proper safe searches if I are required to. We also need to update all items to fall under the pricing that fall under the pricing group general electronics to offer support. So this can be done by either manually checking the box on the item record or using mass updates or CSV updates or imports. So let's have a look at how you can actually get that done by manually doing it. So this will be done if you have maybe 3 items that you want to offer support for. So you will navigate through to list, accounting, items. Now, because everyone can actually customize the form, let's just quickly edit on this form. It might be that either the field is hidden or it's moved to a different sub-tab. What I recommend is just clicking the 2 little boxes over here. It's just going to say save changes that you've made might not be saved. And then I can go control find offer support. So let's just put a space in there. Let's try that again. Oh, Murphy's Law, it won't work when probably just use the wrong item. So obviously this one is not on the form. So I'm just going to go and create or go into an item that has the offer support checkbox, which is this LK example item. My apologies for that. Obviously, if that is the case, you would need to go and customize your form and enable that field to display. So let's go support. Unless somebody has gone and changed. There we go. So offer support, and I can check that box. So obviously in my previous form, I would have had to go and customize the form to get it. If you want your display to change back, you can just click on that little box over there. Do note, obviously mine is already, the box is already checked, so I don't mind. But if you did not check the box, you might need to go back to the warranty information tab and then just check that box. Let's have a look at how you can update using mass update. I'm not going to go through the CSV update route. Generally, if you do want to do a CSV update, it would be because the item falls part of different categories, and you can't just do an easy search to say that all these items that fall part of this, update this. Then I would recommend using CSV update. And if you do need more information about that, you can have a look at the help article importing or doing CSV updates. So I'm going to go through to list, mass updates, general updates, inventory item. And in my criteria, this is where I'm going to add my criteria. So all items that fall part of the pricing group, general electronics, and then under the mass update fields, I'm going to say offer support, and I can easily find that as well by just going Control F and then offer support. And I want that to be checked. I'm going to click preview. And then if I'm happy with the results, I can go and just perform the update. Ooh, I might need to just log back in. There we go. So that update is running in the background now. Next, we need to set up our employee records as support reps. If an employee record is not set up as a support rep, note that you won't be able to select that employee as the assigned to person on the case record. Same with if you don't check that offer support on the item, you won't be able to select that item on the case and on the case record. And we'll look at that once we actually go and manually create a case. So to set up my employees, I'm going to go through to list employees, and this can yet again be done with a mass update, CSV import, or you can manually go and edit it. I've obviously set up my employees already, and what you can do is you can just click on the employee that you want to set up, go to your Human Resources tab, and check the support rep box. Now that all our employees are set up, we will have a look at how we can actually create case rules and assign them to territories. I'm going to navigate through to Setup, Support, Case Rules. Now I've already set up a medium to high rule. Next, what I want to do is I want to create a rule that is for urgent cases, log a complaint and give a compliment, and then I also want to have that specific support item that needs to go to Jonah Rostovic. So I'm going to click Create New Rule, and I want to have case priority. And I'm going to say urgent. So I'm going to name it that makes sense. And put a description in there as well. I'm going to say any of is urgent. And I'm going to click Save on that. I can go back to list. And I can see that I've got my medium to high urgent priority rule. I can click on New Rule again. And this time I want to have case type, compliments and complaints. Any of, give a compliment and log a complaint. And I'm going to click Save on that. And then I want to add my last rule, which would be that specific item. So I'm going to click New Rule. Just copying this item name. And then I'm going to go, it's a support item. I'm going to give it a name, rule. Any of. Note that if you do not find the item, so if you search for the item and you do not find it on this list, it would mean that the item that offer support was not checked. So you would need to go back, check that box, and then you'd be able to set the rules in here and click Save. So now we have all the rules Now what I need to do is I need to assign these rules to the territories, which will then assign it to the appropriate sales or support rep. I'm going to navigate through to setup, support, case territories. So currently I already have my high, medium, and low cases set up. And what I also want to make sure is that my default round robin is set up. And what this would mean is no cases will actually fall through the cracks. So if none of the rules and territories that I've set up above, which we'll have a look at, it's going to go through to my default round robin and it will assign it to a support rep. So I'm going to click edit on my default round robin and I'm going to select the support reps that I want to have cases assigned to. So I'm going to go Fred Clark, Jermaine. So this is a really important step. Make sure that you do have your default round robin because it is really easy to overlook specific roles. And this will make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. And I'm going to click save on that. You go list, and now I'm going to go new case territory. And now I'm going to add that urgent case, urgent / complaints / compliments. And I'm going to say that I want to match any rule because I wanted to, if it's either the compliments rule or the urgent case rule, I need to assign it to Dave Doblin or Dobbin. And I'm going to click save. I'm going to create a new case territory. So I want to set up that Genius pen mouse. And I want it to match all rules in this case. So if it's this specific item, I want it to be assigned to Jonah Rostovic. Click add. Yet again, if the employee does not appear in this list, it means that you did not check that as support rep on the employee record. I'm going to click save on that. So now I'm going to go through and make sure that I'm happy with how it's actually assigned. So or priority, how the priority is set up. So we'll go through to support, and then I'm going to go through to case territories. I do prefer this view, and now I can see my default round robin, but I do want it to look at cases first, then the pen, then high, medium, low, and then it should look at round robin. So NetSuite will kind of action it to assign or action the assignment rule based on the selection that I've set up over here. And I'm going to click save on that. Now let's have a look at how email case catcher is set up in NetSuite. So you have two options here. You can decide if you would like one main email to be set up, e.g. support@gill.com, or you can set up multiple emails using case profiles, e.g. for instance, if you want to have accounts at gill.com, so you want to track any accounts queries that come through as case, you can do that. Or for instance, customer care might be another one. You might have sales orders that need to come in, but you want it to go to different channels. You'll use case profiles for this. Now, case capture works by forwarding your company's support email address to a NetSuite generated email address. So we're going to have a look at where you'd get that NetSuite generated address so that you can hand that to your IT person who will then be setting up the forwarding or the mail forwarding on your mail server. So let's go through to setup, support preferences. So if you're going to have one email, you're going to go through to the email and you're going to give that over to your IT person. If you do set up multiple case profiles, you're going to go through to support, and then you're going to go through to case profiles. All the case profiles that you would have created would give you an inbound email address, and you can give that over to your support or not to your IT person, and then he can set up the forwarding in your mail server. Now, let's have a look at how you can actually create or set up your online case form. I'm going to navigate through to Setup, Support, and then Online Case Form. I'm going to click New. Note that you've got two options here. Default form template. This is the one that we're going to go through today. You don't need any HTML experience to do this, so anyone can set it up, but it is the non-pretty version of it. If you do want it to match your theme on your website, you would need to get somebody with HTML experience, and then they can actually code it the way that you want it to look, and obviously look similar to what your website looks like, and they would select the custom HTML template. We're not going to have a look at that because you would need HTML experience to do that. So we're going to have a look at how you can set up your default form template. In the message here, you can enter things like, please log complete this form. You don't have to fill it out. It's all to your discretion, and we will have a look at where it actually displays once we save this. Now I want to add the following fields. So I want to have title at the top, and then below title, I want to have company name. I can add help in here for my customers. So please enter the name of the company you represent. And I'm going to make it a mandatory field, because we're not dealing with the consumer directly. We're actually dealing with our direct customers. Next, we want to go first name. And I can make that mandatory. I can add help text in there if I want as well. I want to add last name. I want to make that mandatory as well. So they have to fill it out. They can't save the form without filling it out. I want email. Below email, I want phone number. And I want to make that mandatory as well, because I want to be able to contact them if I need to. Then my incoming case message, what I can do here is I can actually rename it here. So I can actually say that please enter the detail of your concern. And above that, I maybe want to have case type as well. Please select type relevant, most relevant. So I can either add that into my help text, or I can actually change the label to basically explain what the customer needs to enter there. So in my incoming message, I also want to add an item. I don't want to make that mandatory because not everyone's going to log a case regarding an item. And in here, I can say product. I can add help text in here. And let's just go. And I am gonna unhide my subsidiary field. You cannot delete the subsidiary field. So if you're on One World, you need to select the subsidiary. So it won't allow you to actually remove that field if you do want to. In my detailed message, please complete form and submit a support rep. Will be in contact with you. So if you do want to add any messages, you can add that in there. Then we're going to have to set up the workflow. So you can add a default subsidiary if you want, case profile. So if you have multiple case profiles, you can set the case origin to online, which I will do. And then you can also redirect to your website. So which URL do you need to redirect to? I've added Liberate IT's website so that once I've submitted a case, you can see what it will look like. How do you want to set up your duplicate detection? So I'm going to say, please use duplicate detection. And then you can also send an auto reply. So I've already set up a support case creation email template. You can set that up by navigating through to documents, templates, email templates, new. For more information, just have a look at the help article email templates. Then on the appearance tab, we are going to say, how do we want to view this? So do I want to have a single column, 2 columns, 3 columns? So I'm just going to go and say that I want 2 columns here. What color theme? So I am going to take it and say that I maybe want it as navy and gold, no, pumpkin and gray. Yeah, because I've got that orange there. And then in here, I can add my logo. So I'm just going on what is already in my filing cabinet. You can add new logos in here if you want as well. And then if there's any custom code, so your developer would then add the custom code in here. I'm going to click save. Now, what happens once you actually save the online form? It generates this external sub-tab and it generates a publishable form URL. So this is what you will use to add it onto your website. And you can test and see what your form looks like. So obviously you can go around and you can actually go and edit anything. So for instance, if you don't like the message, please complete this form, you can remove it. So you can click edit, remove that message. So, or if you don't like the way it looks, you rather want it in one column, I can go and edit it, set up appearance and say that I want it as a single column. I can go refresh on this. And as you can see, maybe I prefer this view, etc. So once you've actually done what you wanted, I can then test to see whether or not it is creating case. So give a compliment. I'm gonna so most relevant, I'm gonna give a compliment. It's not regarding a product, so I'm not going to pull that field out. I'm just going to say that it's New Zealand. And please enter the detail of your concern. Sarah was such a delight. And then I can obviously enter most of the detail. And then once I click submit, the URL that I've set up on my workflow over here is redirected. And it means that they have a case was created. They will also receive an email to say, you've a case, or using that email template that I set up on the workflow over here, saying that a case was created, blah, 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 and they would have a case number. Now, if I go onto my home dashboard, now this is really where you have to set up your support reps and your support managers dashboards the way that you want to view. So depending on exactly what you want to see, you'll either create custom reminders or custom saved searches, or you can even use some of the NetSuite's saved searches that was or reminders that has been set up, and key performance indicators. But I've used the following one. So cases assigned to me, unfortunately, I didn't set myself up as a sales rep, so I won't see any of the cases, but you can actually see that I've got 2 new cases that has been created today. So that case has definitely come in. And if I refresh my case, open case by priority, I can actually see there is that give a compliment case that was created, and it was assigned to Dave Dobbin. So my case rules are definitely working, and I'm happy with that. So Dave Dobbin would then, if he goes onto his NetSuite, he will see that he's got 1 case that's assigned to him. So obviously this is up to you to actually really work out what you want your support reps to view. I've gone and created this really neat little saved search, which is open cases by priority, and it highlights a case. So for instance, if we're not meeting the SLA agreement, it's actually highlighting it and it's saying action immediately. SLA agreement is to resolve in 3 days. And as you can see, the open days is 1,010 days. So we really need to action this urgently. Now let's have a look at how you can actually go and create a case manually. So if a customer calls in and you have to log a case manually, you can set it up on your support reps so that they've got it on their create new bar, which is create case, or they can just follow the good old list support cases new pathway. In here, I'm going to select case type. So in here, you can obviously customize the form the way that you want to customize it, etc. You can obviously add new fields as well. So if I want to maybe make type mandatory, I can simply customize the form to make the type mandatory. And here I can select who the case is for. So as I'm on the line, I can actually say whichever the customer is. So I'm just going to go Bob Williams, subject, concern or problem with item Z. I can assign it to someone. So I know that it needs to go to Amy Nugent, or I can just leave it blank and the case assignment rules will will basically do the assignments. I can select the item. So, and in here, I can say that it's a phone call. Obviously, you can set up workflow so that it automatically defaults. I can select a contact. So if there's a contact, or I can create a new contact if I want. In here, I can add my message. Hi, team. Customer called, and I can give the detail regarding the case. I can also respond to the customer immediately. Hi, Jared. We have created this case. I've assigned it, and that would be like a nice little quick response. And I can say send to customer. I can also copy employees if I want to. So I'm just going to go and click save on this. Now, as you can see under my communications tab, you can actually see the messages that's gone out. You can see the information, hi team, customer call. I can see all the information that was entered. I can then also manage my case. I can go and add activities. So if I need my support manager to do something, I can log a task or create a new task. I can, if I call the customer back, I can log that phone call. I can create or schedule a phone call. If I need to go visit the customer, I can create that event and have all my activities stipulated on my case. I can also add specific user notes. So for instance, if it was specific, like I maybe had that Teams meeting and I want to capture it as a note, I can do that. So the whole idea about your case is to capture everything, all the conversations that you've had. So when the support manager looks at the case, they know exactly what's happening. So you need to train your staff to make sure that they are actually editing and saying, Great. So I have spoken to Bob Williams. It's pending further investigation. I've reached out to whoever. So when the support manager looks at this, they will be able to see where the case is exactly. Then under related records, so if you do decide to, for instance, push through your sales orders using a sales order case capture, you can go and create a sales order from the case transaction, and then it will be stored. So that's a nice way to actually have that traceability and who's actually actioned that case sales order. So it's a really nice way to actually manage and track where things are at. Great. So I am going to leave some time for some questions. I see there's a few questions already, so I'll have a read through.
No questions yet, Michelle?
Okay. No questions? Great.
No, but you've got a few comments from me, if that's okay.
Yes, you can go.
Great, thank you. You can't say no, really, can you?
No.
I just want to say thanks for that. I think with the rules, you know, once we see you take us through how to set those up, it becomes very obvious. But when you're trying to work that out through Suite Answers or something, it's just complicated, right? You go, oh, I think this is the right way to do it, but I'm not really sure. So just want to say thanks a lot for taking that through, or taking us through that piece in particular, because you know, even I get that, how you showed us, so that's great. So thank you. Another comment just around licensing, because that's kind of the world that I live in. You know, 99% of NetSuite accounts all have case management as part of the core suite. So let you know that, you know, if you have NetSuite, you've got this available to you. It makes a lot of sense to take advantage of it. So please do. And if you are needing some help or support, if it's just a little tweak here and there that you're not quite sure how to do a piece, contact our support desk. But if you want to run a whole project and get our consulting team to come alongside you and set it all up with you, we can also do that for you as well. Another area that I'd like to just touch is you mentioned at the top, Michelle, around the customer portal. Yep. And you know, one thing that we do as brand new customers come on board, we get them all set up with the customer portal. But I've realized that there's a bunch of customers that have been with us for many years that have had changeover of staff. So if you're logging support cases with Liberate IT, get in touch with me or log a case with support, and we can set you up with access to our support portal, so you can see cases have been logged with us and where they're up to, and invoices and all sorts of things. So happy to do that as well. And I think that's it. That's all my comments. No questions from me. I've got a couple through in chat. Okay, another question. And my question when we were practicing this, Michelle, can this be used as an IT help desk for internal employees rather than external?
Yes, so NetSuite actually has a feature, and if you go through to enable features, and obviously we didn't cover this in today's session, but under CRM, we've got this help desk option over here, and that is for internal support. So you would basically check that box, and then we need to set that up. And obviously that's a complete different section to support, which we didn't cover off today. But we can send you a help article, or we can get a consultant to be in touch with you to help you or help guide you through that, setting up your help desk.
Brilliant.
Does that answer it?
It does. I've got a nice in return, so fantastic. Well, no more questions, Michelle. That's great. You must have been very clear in your explanations.
That's always good.
Yeah, so I'm glad you've landed on the dashboard. So you know, for a role that is a support role, there is a standard support dashboard that's set up with some of the basics in there, but I think what's shown in terms of, and it's got things like the KPIs down the bottom, but I love the scorecard that you've got up the top there, and a quick save search to help prioritize those sorts of things. They're they're really good. So, you know, it's not just about the process of creating support cases and seeing those through, but as a team leader or manager, having full visibility on what's going on and what's working and what's not, which is very hard to do in Outlook or an Excel spreadsheet, right?
Yep. Yeah. So this is really where you'll be driving your support from. Is you need to double check that or make sure that your support users all have the required reports. And obviously your support manager has the data that they need easily displayed on their case management or on their home dashboard. Sorry, baby brain there.
That's all right. It's all good. On my home dashboard, I'm always looking out for those reminders in the top left-hand corner in case you have assigned a case to me, Michelle. So that's a nice nifty way to avoid sending emails, right? That I mean, it's both and if you want to, but it's a great way to stay on top of those things and make sure that anything that's assigned to me is done and it's all tracked through NetSuite, which is good.
Exactly. You end up with days open 1,010
1,000. I'm glad to say we do somewhat better than that, Michelle.
Yeah. No. I'm just this is just the test account. So
yes, obviously.
Don't want it's open for that long.
No, that's good. I love that. Okay, well, I'm going to. I might have one more question. The question came through. Can you show again where to find the setup online case forms? Just that initial setup page, Michelle.
Yes. So if you navigate through to setup, support, and then there's online case forms over here.
Gotcha.
And you can set up multiple ones. So you're not constrained to just one. So for instance, if you want to have log a complaint on your website, you can create a case form that's log a complaint.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
We hope this video gave you the information you were after. If you have any further questions, get in touch with us using the links in the description.